Hello, welcome to this week's reading vlog. So this week, once again, I am going to be trying to bust down my TBR. I think it currently stands at 49 books at the moment. Probably will continue to add to that because whenever I watch booktubers, I normally get one book recommendation from that, and then whenever I go to the library to return books, I end up picking up another one. So what I decided though this week, how to pick my books, was that I was going to pit maybe two books in a similar genre against each other and read the first chapter of both, and then I will decide which one I was going to be reading based on that. So the first two are A Witch in Time and My Name is Morgana. So A Witch in Time is about a woman who's been cursed to repeat a doomed love affair and die a horrible young death over and over and over and over again. And there is a demon tasked with overseeing this curse on this woman, but he is in love with her. So that premise already was very fascinating to me. I did read the first chapter of this last night. I couldn't wait to start it today, and I would rate it a 4 out of 5. It was very intriguing. It caught my interest. It started off with her walking into a cafe in her current life, going on a blind date with said demon, and him saying, "Are we really going to do this? Do you not recognize me? I think you know why I'm here." And then her realizing right at the end of the date, oh, she did know. So it was interesting. The second book that I pitted against it was Morgana is My Name, Morgan Le Fay from Arthurian legend, but retold in a feminist kind of view. So that really piqued my interest. I did start it. I would rate that first chapter a 3. It was a little bit info dumpy, which I know it has to be because it's got to set up the background of Morgan Le Fay and the legends. But yeah, because it was info dumpy, I gave it a 3. So I'm going to start A Witch in Time for this week, but I'm very excited to do it this way. I think it was really fun because it's also something about I just read one chapter and then decide that you actually like really get present with that chapter and you try to absorb as much of it as you can. You're really soaking up every word in order to make your decision. So this has been a lot of fun. So today I am going to be taking my kids to see Elemental. My beautiful friend gave me some free tickets for me and the kids, which was very sweet. So we're going to go and see that today. So besides that, I'm hoping to spend a lot of time reading and hopefully we'll give you an update on how A Witch in Time is going later on. So I'll touch base with you then. Hello guys, I am dressed to go to my ex-sister-in-law's 40th birthday. She's still like a sister to me, so I still call her that. I'm not sure about this dress. It does this weird thing where it does folds. So I don't think it's very flattering, but I don't think it's flattering on my figure. So I think I'm going to be giving this dress to somebody else, which is a shame because it looked so pretty on the hanger and not on me. That's the thing. Sometimes I don't like to try stuff on, especially at thrift stores. I just grab them and take them and I think, oh, it's my size, it'll be fine. But yeah, I don't know if the fabric is like scratchy. It's very hard. Like it's bizarre. It's like, I don't even know what you would describe this as, but this dress is not for me, but I'm just gonna wear it tonight before I pass it on. So I did finish reading A Witch in Time. Yeah, I enjoyed myself. It could have been amazing. I realized that I am a sucker for the whole cursed witch falling in love with the demon who's in charge of her curse trope, because this is pretty much almost exactly the same as The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. Both of the demons are also named Luke. But this one obviously is a little bit different. But you follow this woman who originally, her original life, her name was Juliet, and she fell in love with the painter Marchand Auguste, something like that. Her mother intervenes to try and protect her daughter, but the spell goes awry, and basically these two are cursed to forever fall in love but never be happy with each other, so it never works out. It's a star-crossed lovers thing, and she also has to die a young and tragic death. But through all of this, the administrator, or the demon in charge of overseeing this curse, falls in love with her, and she with him. So with this book, I loved parts of it, and then I didn't like other parts. Basically, some of her lives were just not it for me. I didn't care about them, and I wish they had been condensed. I actually wish the whole thing had been a bit more condensed to improve the pleasure of it. I felt like some parts were just dragged out a bit too much. We don't need to see so much time with each lifetime. Like, we get it. We can get the gist of it pretty quickly. You don't need to have so many pages. Also, the chemistry was not quite there. It was decent, but I wasn't frothing for these two. You know, I wasn't just yearning for them to be together. So I did find it still incredibly enjoyable. It's a trope that I do like. Find me a demon who falls in love with a cursed witch and they shouldn't be together, but then they fall in love. I'm a sucker for it. I'm a sucker. So the next two books that I pitted against each other were two thrillers. One is called The Husband, and I would rate the chapter for this one a 3.5. It was very short and succinct, but already I'm getting the feeling that this woman is very unhinged, that she might be off her rocker, and that her husband is in imminent danger. So I loved that. I got so much from just a very short chapter. The other book that I read the first chapter of was The Kind Worth Killing. Now, I have heard a lot of people on booktube sing its praises, and in the first chapter you have a married man sitting in an airport bar talking to this hot chick, telling her that he discovered his wife is having an affair with their builder, and he ends it by saying, "I want to kill her." And she's like, "Well, why don't we?" Dun, dun, dun. And it was fine. Like, it's okay, but it was quite a long chapter. You're getting the whole backstory of the affair, and I'm not sure I like the male character. So the female that's sitting next to him, that's like, yeah, let's ice this bitch. She seems interesting, so I might like her chapters more because I think it's between both of their POVs. I would give it a 3 out of 5. So I am going to read The Husband out of these two, and we'll see how we go. Tonight I've got festivities abound. It's my day off, but my kids and my whole family has been invited to my ex-sister-in-law's birthday, so we're all going to be there, and I'm planning to boogie tomorrow, but I'll touch base with you tomorrow. Hello, so let me tell you about the other books that I read. My Husband, wow, this was really unexpected. I wouldn't call it a thriller. I think it's more suspense. The main character is definitely unhinged. She is extremely obsessed with the idea of love and loving her husband, being loved in return. She fixates on every minute thing he does, and she has this list pretty much of how she lives her life. So different days she wears different colors. The reasoning for the things she does seems a little mentally unwell. And she also has a punishment list in regards to the infractions her husband commits against her. It was interesting to read. I guess the writing's really good. So this is translated from French. For me, the only translated books that I have liked have been translated from French, so I think maybe I'll just stick with some French translated works in the future, because every French translated work I've read, I've really enjoyed. I enjoyed it. I liked being inside her chaotic brain and her overthinking and overanalysis. There is a twist at the end that I didn't think was necessary. I felt like it was a superfluous addition and it sort of detracted a bit from the story for me, but I think other people would really like the twist at the end. So yeah, I've given it 4 stars. I enjoyed being in a mad woman's brain and witnessing her daily habits and reasons of why she does everything she does. So the next 2 books that I pitted against each other were Love Theoretically by Ali Hazelwood, which is pretty much like all of her other books. There's people in STEM and they fall in love. And then I pitted it against Role Player, which is a book about I think she's 48 or in her 50s-year-old woman who is a hermit and ends up playing an online game and meeting someone through that. So the first chapters, Role Player, I give it a 2. It was a little bit too info dumpy in telling you what the character is like. This is what she likes, this is what she doesn't like, this is who she is, this is who she isn't. So it's very info dumpy. And Ali Hazelwood's Love Theoretically, I'd give it a 2.5. You're basically just starting off with the main character in a cubicle with a dude saying like, how did I get here? Which is fine, but nothing amazing. So I went with Love Theoretically. I will not be reading any more Ali Hazelwood books. So I read her first book, gave it 3 stars. Even though I am a Kylo Ren shipper, I didn't like the book. In this one, it's much of the same. So you have a woman in STEM, no surprise. A dude in STEM, no surprise. One's a theorist, one's an experimentalist. I can't remember what the exact term is. Supposedly they're enemies and they hate each other. It felt a bit dramatized, but maybe it's true, I don't know. And she, on her side hustle, because she doesn't make enough money, she is a fake girlfriend. And it turns out that her new boss or whatever is the brother of one of her fake boyfriends. Okay, so the reason that I really did not like this book is because this character is shown to be, I guess the main character pretty much calls her a people pleaser. She adjusts herself to suit the people that she's around. Someone who's neurodivergent and who had anxiety. It's similar to masking in that you mirror the either personality or mannerisms or likes and dislikes of the person that you're around. Now, do some people do this intentionally? Yes, but a lot of people who do this do it because of trauma or because they're neurodivergent or because they're anxious. And for me, I used to be a very high masker when I was young. It's a survival technique. Now as an adult, I don't do it consciously, but I still do it unconsciously. I can't help but eventually mirror the person that I'm around to a certain extent. Some people do it more around, some people do it less around. And obviously the more I do it, the more draining that connection is, the less I do it, the more uplifting. But it's not something that I'm consciously aware of. So to have someone stand there and then tell me, like, stop with all this bullshit, just be the real you, why can't you just be yourself? It was so frustrating just hearing him constantly say that to her whenever she slipped into this sort of mirroring thing. I found it very aggravating. I'm like, can you just leave her alone? Can you leave her alone? Can you let her choose to act how she wants to act? Like, just leave her be. She's doing her best. Like, she's just stop it. But he was just like, I want to see the real you. I want you to be the real you. And that was frustrating. There was also the whole thing in Ali Hazelwood's books where the woman is little and tiny and tight vagina. And then the man is big and strong and thick dick. And it's just too much in my face. I just didn't like the dude at all. I didn't like his personality. I did not find him charming. There was this gross, creepy thing where the fake boyfriend and this dude and their family, they've got like an incestual uncle. And they're always cracking jokes like our uncle is going to try and have a threesome with us. And I'm like, this is not funny. Is this meant to be comedy? Because I ain't laughing. So yeah, I just really didn't like the book. I gave it 2 stars. That's probably being generous. I really didn't like this book, guys. So that was the only dud of this challenge. The other 2 books were great, both 4 stars, which is fantastic. Can't complain there. So yeah, it was just good to know that as Ali Hazelwood, not for me ever again. Never, never. So that's everything for this week. I hope that wherever you are having a sunny morning, afternoon, or evening. And as always, stay well, star child.